Hello, my name is Tony Neumeyer. I'm the author of the book, The 7-Minute Millionaire, How to Think Yourself Rich, and the founder of the Millionaire Academy. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever seen the Dos Equis beer commercials with the middle-aged man with the white beard? He's always surrounded by beautiful women, having amazing adventures, and the phrase that they use to describe him is that he's the most interesting man in the world. That's quite a statement. Why do they call him that? To quote a few lines from the ads, the last time he flirted with danger, danger got clingy. Or, he once got a standing ovation from the juror's box. Or, his thank you cards have prompted your welcome cards. He's trained canaries in the art of falconry. He once gave a pep talk so compelling that both teams won. When he whispers to a horse, the horse whispers back. There are more quotable lines, but I'll stop there. That's been an amazingly powerful ad campaign for the beer company. I can't say that any of those quotes apply to me or anybody but the Dos Equis man. But have you ever noticed how some people are just more interesting to be around and talk to than other people? What is it that makes some people more interesting than other people? And maybe a better point is that if you want to get ahead in life, it's best to be thought of as at least somewhat interesting. You don't have to be the most interesting man or woman in the world, but be able to carry on a conversation with intelligence and clarity is important. This can mean staying up on some broad-based knowledge of events from around the world or locally, depending on who the people you currently happen to be talking with. One of the best things you can do is to read. Be continually reading books and articles that are interesting to you and maybe interesting to others. I'm currently on a mission that you might like to consider. The mission is to read one book a week. Think about it. Most of the books that I am reading are about an average of 200 pages. Some a little more, some a little less. But that's only reading about 30 pages a day. You see, if you break it down to smaller tasks, it becomes manageable. Reading can help you fit into social situations which can actually create opportunities for you and or your business that you may never have thought possible. I had a situation not too long ago where my wife and I were traveling in Europe with some acquaintances from a social group that we belonged to. As it turned out, one of the members of the group lived in California and knew a very prominent business person in Vancouver. That businessman ended up being able to hire my daughter for a fantastic job just after she graduated from university. This job could set her career years ahead. My friend made the introduction. She had to actually get the job. But if I had been meek or not prepared to talk with people around me and hopefully be interesting and interested in them, this opportunity for my daughter may have never come to pass. So what is it you can do to be interesting to others? Well, what I just said about being in touch with the world events or reading books as much as possible will help. One of the best things you can do during a conversation with somebody is going to be to ask questions of the people you are speaking with. Now, you don't want to ask simple, straightforward, yes and no type questions. You want to ask questions that are open-ended, and when they respond, you get a prolonged answer. This usually gives you even more to talk about. These types of answers will help you keep the conversation going and show that you're interested in the person. And when you become interested in someone, they will more often than not become interested in you, or at least find you interesting. Now that said, one of the things you want to do, or should I say don't want to do, is monopolize the conversation. So once you've asked a question, let the person fully answer. Let them answer without interruption and let someone else speak as well. As the saying goes, you are given 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Listen twice as much as you speak. People will often come away from the conversation saying something like, that was a very interesting person, and they won't necessarily know exactly why they're thinking that. However, they will be thinking it, and the reason was because that you showed genuine interest in them, and you listened as they spoke. Listening is a learned skill, and one to practice if you're not good at it. You can go online and learn how to listen better. And actually, when you listen better, you actually learn better as well. If listening is a bit of a challenge, do some research on how to listen better, and you'll find that some great resources can help you become a more proficient listener. One of the keys to listening better is actually being present in the conversation. What I mean by being present is being 100% involved and focused on the conversation at hand. Not letting outside influences distract you from the conversation you're having. Don't let your cell phone get in the way. Don't be texting while talking with somebody. That's definitely not being present in the situation. And how often do we see that happen these days? There's actually a term for the type of listening that I'm talking about, and it's called active listening. Related to listening with intention, the intention of truly hearing what the person that you're speaking to has to say so you can respond with interest. Another part of active listening is also being observant of the other person's gestures and movements. They can give you clues as to how the person is really feeling as you're speaking to them. If you happen to be a funny person, using humor when talking with people can make you interesting also. However, don't go out of your way to try and be funny, because if you aren't, it can backfire. Just be yourself. People see through people that are being phony or just putting on a facade. So really, it's best just to be yourself. So just because you don't light your cigar with the flames from a dragon, or if you're not the Dos Equis man or woman, or the most interesting person in the world, you can quite likely be the most interesting person in the room, simply by following some simple steps that I just talked about. So leave your comments below. Tell me about the interesting circumstances you're in, the interesting people, or how interesting you've become. And so until next time, drink responsibly if you drink, and live rich.